It's only today that I got to know that United Nations celebrates October 2 as the International Day of Non-Violence. Now, I believe a better way to celebrate Gandhi's birthday is to focus on his ideas of sustainable life. Gandhi is not just about violence and non-violence. Maybe the concept of violence and non-violence worked in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, but today we need this idea of sustainable life. Because Gandhi has said that nature has everything to satisfy your need, but not your greed. All of us who have done our schooling from India, we remember that there used to be something called Gandhi's talisman on the front pages of our textbooks. Now, at that time, we had no idea what it was doing there on our front pages because we used to make a laugh about it. But it's only later in life that we realized that those words have a profound impact, and it's something that can really quench your thirst when you are burning with fire within and you have no answers when self-doubt is trying to overpower you. So what is a talisman? Quickly, I will just tell two three lines. It's there on Google. Gandhi is saying that whenever you see that self-doubt is trying to creep in and it's trying to disturb you, you feel overpowered by self-doubt, you try to recall the image of the most helpless person, the poorest person that you may have ever encountered in your life, and then you see that the next step you are going to take or you're trying to take, contemplating to take, how is that step going to impact the life of this person? When you do that, Gandhi says, you will see that your self doubt is sort of going away and you are feeling much more in control of yourself. So it happened to me when I was in my 10th standard. One day I was roaming around the streets for looking for a product which was expensive by my middle class standards, and it was a small town where I used to live. So I'm roaming around the streets. I'm not getting that product, and let me tell you about the product. It was Walkman I was looking for. So these days we have Bluetooth earphones and whatnot. But those were the times when Walkman was really big thing, because just the idea of being able to listen to music without disturbing others with music ringing right into our ears was quite a thrill. So I'm looking for that product. I'm not getting it because I'm naturally passionate as a person, and I'm looking for something and I'm not getting that thing. And I was 15, 16 at that time. So that bit of that hormones of 15, 16 years. So I'm getting irritated and annoyed and agitated. For sure, I'm going to have a sleepless night if I am not getting that product at that time. Just then, I see that a homeless person, a beggar, comes to me and asks for something to eat. Now, I don't have anything in my pocket, so I buy a box full of sweets and I give it to this person. And I ask him in his language, did you have anything uh, during the daytime? He said, no, I ate nothing yesterday, and today also I had nothing. I have not eaten anything for close to 2 days. So he was literally starving, and that was the time I realized I connected with Gandhi's talisman. I realized that the amount of money I'm going to invest to buy, to purchase that product, which is not a die-hard necessity for me, it was just a luxury item for me. Out of that money, this person can be given food for 15 days. So, what is luxury for me means that this person will have food on his plate for 15 days. That made me humble down, and I realized that often at times what we crave for in terms of our luxuries are not really the things that we need for our day-to-day life. So most of the time it's advertising and it's marketing and it's marketing campaigns with music ringing right into our ears and in between our ears, and we get carried on. So I think this lesson must be taught to children who are living in developed countries, in Western world where people are not deprived of food, clothing, and shelter. Because right from their childhood, they must be taught this all important lesson that everything they are taking it as a case of luxury is coming at the cost of somebody who is missing the basic necessities of life. So everything I'm having right now and taking it for granted in terms of my fancy luxuries is coming at the cost of somebody's plate in some part of the world. There are millions all around the world, in different parts of the world, who are deprived of food, clothing, and shelter. If you think about life in this way, you will realize that you will never have a self doubt in your life. Every time it's trying to overpower you, you really try to to recall the face of any helpless person you may have encountered, just like what Gandhi is saying. And it really happens that it humbles you down, and you are down to to raising yourself to a new level of consciousness. It happens to us all the time, actually. It is nothing new. Has it ever happened to you that you are looking for a pizza and you are roaming around the streets looking for pizza and you are not getting that pizza and you are getting irritated and you are freaking out, and just then you notice a beggar, a homeless person on the street who is not having anything on his plate? Will not you come back home and eat whatever you have at your home and sleep peacefully at night? Because now you know that there are people, forget about pizza, there are people who have nothing to eat. Millions of people. Tonight, when we are going to eat and sleep, there will be millions who will sleep without food. They will sleep with empty stomach. So if we think about life in this way, every act of our life becomes graceful, and we stop complaining, and self-doubt stops bothering us because we are living life in the right direction. We are understanding life in terms of need first and then greed later on, because it's a very mad world we have created these days, where our our mad cravings, our uncontrolled penchant for these greeds, this has resulted in a very ugly, unequal world. So I believe when we are paying our tributes to Gandhi, it's time, other than this violence and non-violence, it's time we also look at his message of a sustainable life.